Welcome to the Bellport Battle Bunker. Today we're going to go over my Crimson Fist Space Marines collection as we go into 9th edition. In the beginning, in the early 90s, when I started collecting my Space Marines, the inspiration came from the cover art of this codex. This used to be Captain Cortez. If you Crimson Fist aficionados out there would know Captain Cortez. Maybe he'll be found and thinking about if he does come back, he might come back as Primaris, but this was the original model, just a power fist, a bolter, and a 3-up invulnerable save. Very simple character. So here's just a little timeline of the codex changes. You saw the first one, the one that I had from 98. I don't even know if there was one before that, but I don't have it. But this was, I think, in 2004. And then another soft cover somewhere around 2008. And then I believe these were in the 2015 range, somewhere around there. But a hardcover and another Space Marine hardcover book. And then this one, not sure of the editions, they get all blended. But now this was the 8th edition. This is the codex we were using here. And of course, the supplement, which has the Imperial Fist successor chapters in it, the Crimson Fists. So this whole collection is battle forged. We have 4 different detachments. We're going to start with the Brigade. And again, I've done these showcases as each edition has come through, but now that I've had access to the detachments, they look like they're staying pretty much the same as far as their organization. I got it separated here by terrain. Okay, so we're going to start with the HQ portion of the Brigade. You're allowed 5 choices. And it starts with the chapter master, Pedro Cantor himself. Now, he did not go Primaris. I was very happy with that. I was happy that he stayed old school. And again, this video is focusing on my old school collection. Just trying to get as much of play out of these guys until they decide what to do with them, but I hope they stick around. But Pedro Cantor is the current chapter master. And then behind him, we have Captain Anto. Now, Captain Anto is from the 3rd Battle Company. I've always had my Crimson Fist modeled after the 3rd Battle Company with the red trim around the shoulder pad area. I just like the way it looked and just like that company. So this company has been represented as a 3rd Battle Company, and currently, according to the fluff in the index or the new supplement, Captain Anto is the master of the line, 3rd Battle Company captain. He has a chaplain, and he's modeled. Everything you see here is going to be modeled as is. What you see is what you get. We have a Tech Marine. This is an old metal miniature. He's got a bolter and a power axe. And then 2 lieutenants, both with master-crafted bolt gun and power fist. And those are the 5 HQ selections. Then we go into Elite. You're allowed 8 choices. We have a company champion. The company champion has the master-crafted power sword and a combat shield. I hope he sticks around. He's in the current codex. We got an apothecary with a chain sword. And then we have a company ancient with a bolt gun. So those are the first 3. Now usually you see veterans that are in the veteran company, the 1st company, but we're going to keep these guys with this 3rd Battle Company. I love the Stern Guard, always did. And these are the old school miniatures, the metal ones, the originals. So I have a squad of 10 with a power fist on the sergeant and 2 heavy bolters. They can be combat squaded, and they're going to be in a drop pod. All my Stern Guard are going to be in drop pods. And then these are the newer Stern Guard models. Those of you that have been collecting for a long time and building the models know which box I'm talking about. It had a lot more bits. It was a really good box. I'm still using bits from that box throughout the Army. But these are the newer ones. And the sergeant is going to have a power fist with his special issue bolt guns. But I put 2 grav cannons in there. With 9th edition, the grav cannon seems to be the new heavy bolter. I mean, at least as far as points cost, and it's a much better weapon as far as AP and damage. Just has a little bit shorter range, but there's some rumors that talk about heavy bolters possibly going up in shots, maybe 4 shots. We'll see. But strange it didn't go down to, I thought maybe they would go down to 5 points, but they didn't. So anyway, I got 2 grav cannons in one of that Stern Guard squad, and then the 3rd Stern Guard squad, again, power fist on the sergeant, and I went with heavy bolters. I have another elite choice over here. This is the company veterans. Usually you're going to see a squad of 5. They think they come in squads of 2 or 3 originally, then you can build up to 5. So I have the sergeant is going to have a power fist and a combi melta-gun, and then the rest are going to have combi melta-guns. They used to be in my Stern Guard, and because Stern Guard can still get combi weapons, but I've converted these over to the company veteran squad just on their own, maxed out at 5-man, and they'll be going in a drop pod along with the Devastator squad I'll talk about later. This is the last elite choice, I believe, here, my Vanguard. They're just 5 jump pack with pair of lightning claws each. So 5 Vanguard. That rounds out all my elites. So I'll jump over here to the next section since we were talking about this drop pod. In the drop pod, I can go with either the grav cannons or whatever, but I like the multi-melters. So you got a lot of big melter punch here. So we got the combi melters in the veteran squad, and then we got the Devastator squad with the multi-melters, and the sergeant has a combi melter. So they'll go on the pod, they'll be able to drop down. If you notice, there was storm bolters in these pods, but this drop pod has a Deathwind missile launcher. We're going to come back down here to the other heavy supports. So I have 2 other heavy supports, Devastator squads. So one of them is going to have heavy bolters, 4 of them, and the other one is going to have 4 grav cannons. And they will be riding in Razorbacks with the twin las cannons. We got the Thunderfire cannon, which saw a huge point increase. I never really used them, but they have a stratagem now, and I guess with the blast weapon rule, there's going to be a lot of, it's a good horde killer, so we got him in the list. And then to round out the 5th heavy support for a brigade, this is the only Forge World model, I believe, in the list, is this Land Raider Prometheus. A great tank. It's a Forge World heavy support, and it's going to make it into the brigade. I think what I will do with this is put some assault squad. So that's going to bring us to the fast attack. Okay, so we're going to go to the fast attack. We have the assault squad without jump packs. So the sergeant will have pair of lightning claws. There's going to be 10 guys. They can be combat squatted. There's 2 flamers. And these guys will probably ride in that Land Raider Prometheus. We have another assault squad in the back with jump packs. It's a 10-man squad. Again, they can be combat squatted. The sergeant has a pair of lightning claws, and no flamer in that one. It's just all guys with bolt pistol and chain swords. And then we go up to our bike section. These are the old school bikes, and we have a full squad. It can be combat squatted. So we have this squad here that has the 2 melters, the sergeant with a combi melter, and then an attack bike with a multi-melter. So that can be combat squatted, and these guys with all the bolters can go separate if they need to. And I have a full 3-unit strong attack bikes, the heavy bolters. And then the last one is going to be this land speeder with heavy bolter and assault cannon. So over here, we have 6 tactical squads. These guys have seen a lot of action. They've been in a lot of battle reports. We have 5 Razorbacks, 4 with twin heavy bolter, and 1 with the twin assault cannon. The heavy bolter has gone up in price on vehicles because now they can move and fire. So we're going to see how that plays out. But the assault cannon is also a nice weapon, so I threw one on there on the 5th guy. But the first 4 are going to be identical squads. They have a heavy bolter, a sergeant with a storm bolter and chain sword. They all have hunter-killer missiles on them. And then that 5th squad, I threw in a grav cannon, because again, like I said, in 9th edition, the grav cannon seems to be, at this point, with the points value, the new heavy bolter. So it's better against multi-damage. It does D3 damage, -3 AP, so good weapon to use. And then sergeant with the storm bolter and chain sword. Then we come over here. I have a full 10-man option. Throw them in a rhino. Again, I'm trying to show the classic old school nature, trying to get as many of my choices on here. So we got a full 10-man squad. Again, it can be combat squatted. I got a sergeant with the combi melter and power fist, and then a melter gun. And then I threw in a grav cannon. So that's it for the troops. I'm going to bounce over to the scouts next. Okay, so we're finishing out maxing out this brigade with the troops. We showed you the 6 required, and then you can have an additional 6. Usually the scouts go into 10th company, but we're going to include them into our brigade. So we have our 4 detachments, 5-man squads down here. They each have a sergeant with a storm bolter and a chain sword and a heavy bolter and bolters. So I got 4 of those. And then I have a land speeder storm, which is a dedicated transport for scouts. And I got some shotgun scouts in there. I do have a sergeant that I converted up with a combi melter and a power fist. We put him in there just to give him a little bit extra kick. And he goes in that land speeder storm. And then I have a 10-man that can be combat squatted sniper rifles with camo cloaks. Ultramarine guys might recognize this. This is the Telion model, but it looks perfect for a sergeant for a grizzled old school scouts. So he's still training them. So these guys, pushing into the old school Marines. I know we got the Primaris that are coming in now, but this video is dedicated to the old school Space Marines. So that's our brigade. It's got 12 troop choices. It's got the 8 elites. It's got all full 5 HQs and all 5 heavy. So it's maxed out. Oh, we forgot the 2 flyers. So you can now have 2 flyers in your detachment. There's no more air wing. So I got 2 Storm Talon gunships with the las cannons and twin assault cannon arrays. I really like the way this brigade fleshed out. Again, this is my collection. This is what I'm staying with. We're going to play these guys as much as we can until 9th edition or GW says that these guys are no longer viable. So the total points here is 5,554 modeled as is with the 8th edition points. So when 9th edition hits, I know that some things are going up, some things are going down. We'll see how those points flesh out. It looks like it's going to be more points than what it's normally worth. Like I said, the heavy bolters are going up on cost on the vehicles, and the Thunderfire cannon went up a lot, almost double in points. So 297 power level, and then 5,554 points, as is what you see, what you get for that brigade. One of the other detachments is a Vanguard. So now normally this would be the first company. This is the veterans. Again, we're just going to have these guys attaching themselves to this 3rd battle company, at least as far as I'm concerned with my collection, traveling with Pedro Cantor has usually led the first company, then he changed, and now he has a captain there because he doesn't want to split his time, according to the fluff. But we're bringing them along. So we have 2 HQs in this detachment. First one is going to be a captain, and he's going to have a relic, the Fist of Vengeance. So if you look at the model, it's a little bit of a bash up or of a, Dorn, one of the Dorns from the Imperial Fists, and Captain Lysander. So this hammer is perfect for that Fist of Vengeance. Profile is it hits like a thunder hammer. It's got 3 damage. He doesn't suffer any penalties to hit, and I just love that model. So I stuck with this, and I just put a Storm Bolter on him instead of the Storm Shield. So that's my captain, my Terminator captain with the relic Fist of Vengeance. The other HQ is going to be a chaplain. I love this Terminator chaplain. Love that model. Shout out to Bob Evers. He painted that bad boy up for me. It's really looks nice. Bob has done most of the characters that you see here, character models. But this chaplain, he'll go with the captain for the Vanguard. I have a 10-man Terminator squad right here with the assault cannons. So these guys will teleport strike in, probably with the captain. And then I have some vehicles. I got 2 heavy supports you can have in the Vanguard. I went with the 2 Land Raider variants. Bringing these boys back is going to be real good. Now that they can fire, in at least in combat, they don't get completely shut down. So I'm looking to make a good comeback with these Land Raiders. I'm going to enjoy playing them again. They kind of, I still used them, but not as much. They just, it wasn't really good. They would just get tagged by something small and then shut down for a whole turn. I got the Redeemer back. It's got the flame cannons, flamestorm cannons, the twin assault cannon, and a multi-melt on top. They have a 12-person capacity, and you know that Terminators take up 2 slots each. So I got another 5-man Terminator squad with the assault cannon. And then I'm going to throw a Terminator Ancient in there. These 6 Terminators will be able to ride in this Redeemer. And then I have the Crusader, which is going to be a great vehicle, I believe, in this edition, especially with all the bullets that it can fire if it does get touched. I don't think anybody's going to really want to get into contact with that unless you're going to kill it, because it will do some serious damage to you on the next turn as far as all the shooting that it can put out. So I maxed it out. I got the multi-melt. I got the Storm Bolter on there. You can fit 16 in here. So let's take a look. I have a Terminator Assault Squad. This is a 10-man squad. I'm going to combat squad it. So these with the Lightning Claws, they're going to go inside the tank. And then I have a Company Veteran Squad that have Storm Shields all the way around, Lightning Claws on 3 of them, and then a Power Sword on the Sergeant, and a Thunder Hammer. These are new additions. Bob also painted these up for me. These are looking real nice. And they'll be able to ride in that. That leaves 1 spot open. So what I'm thinking is I would take Pedro and put him in here. So with Pedro into this squad with all these Lightning Claws, and then his +1 bonus on attacks, that's an insane amount of hand-to-hand that's going to come out of that Land Raider with him involved. And he's a chapter master, so re-rolling all misses in combat. So we've talked about the combat squadding of that assault squad, the Terminators. We'll put the Thunderhammer with the Storm Shields. Not sure how those Storm Shields are going to work out. They've already said that the don't pay attention to the, it doesn't affect all data sheets, what they did with those Blade Guard veterans that are in the Dominus box. So we're not sure what's going to happen with them, but they're still going to be a good fighting unit. So we're going to put them into a Storm Raven gunship, and you can have a Dreadnought underneath. So we're going to go with an Ironclad. The Ironclad has a chain fist and then 2 close combat weapons with dual heavy flamers. I really like the Hurricane Bolter option, so I may put a Hurricane Bolter on there. I have it, but I may switch that out and go with the Hurricane Bolter. And then you see this Storm Raven gunship. It has the Hurricane Bolters on it, the Twin Melta to keep with the Melta and Bolter theme, and then a Twin Assault Cannon. I also have the option to put Las Cannon on top if we need to. But that's the Vanguard, and that has most of my first company. So the total power level is 122, and the points is going to be 2,393. As you see what it is right now with 8th edition points. While we're over here, I do have a allied detachment of Grey Knights. It's a patrol, so it's going to have these 2 HQs and then 1 troop choice, which is a Terminator, Grey Knight Terminator squad. So I have a brother captain, and he just has a Demon Hammer. And then I got Grandmaster Voldus. He's the Psyker. He's got a Demon Hammer also. Storm Bolters for the shooting weapons. I like to ally them in, if I'm facing, obviously, if you're facing any kind of a demonic incursion. And we've had that with the whole new Indominus and the fall of Cadia. So we've developed a little bit of a relationship with these guys. We got a little allied help if we ever need to call on them. And we got a 10-man squad with the Force Halberds, a couple of side cannons in there. And then if you see this Stormcast Eternal, I really like that model. And I made him the Sergeant. I think he kind of fits in there. I went with the darker blue armor on him as opposed to that. But the color is pretty much matching the Crimson Fist, again, just as allies, just to get a little extra punch with the Terminators. So that little unit right there is 45 power level and 638 points as a Grey Knight Patrol. That's 8th edition points. We'll see what happens when the points go up in 9th. Okay, we have 2 spearheads to round out this whole force. So this is going to be the first spearhead. This one you can see is themed with the Land Raider style. So I got 3 Land Raider Godhammer patterns: Pride, Spirit, and Hearts. We got Dorn's Pride, Dorn's Spirit, and Dorn's Heart. We got a couple of Centurion squads out here. We got the old Grav Cannons are back, and they went down in points, but I think the models went up. So we're going to see how that works out. I have a 6-man squad. I do have a dual Las Cannon Sergeant, so I can break these up, combat squad them, so 3 of them can go in one of the Land Raiders, the other 3 can go in the other Land Raider here, and then I have another squad of Centurion Devastators with the heavy bolters and the Hurricane Bolters. So I'm thinking about keeping them as a 5-man walking, but I could knock them down to 3 and put them in this Land Raider so they could all be mobile if they need to. But I really like that 5-man squad with the heavy bolters. The HQs that are leading this is a Cataphracti Terminator. He's got the Combi Melter and a Chain Fist. And then we got this guy, I actually just picked him up this morning from Bob. He finished painting him up for me. It's a Terminator Librarian. So he's got the Force Axe, he's got the Combi Plasma. It's the only plasma in the whole army. I try to avoid plasma because obviously with the Crimson Fists, our numbers were depleted and plasma tends to kill Marines when it overheats. Also, I don't like to use Librarians as much because when they die from the psychic powers, perils of the warp, they tend to kill more Crimson Fists around them. So we've tried to limit that, but I figure, we got to get at least 1 Librarian in the force, and he's going to be it. To finish out the force, I got 2 Dreadnoughts. Now, here's where we have a little bit of an issue, because as they are right now, they were just regular Dreadnoughts, the 2 elites that you can have in a spearhead. But the Index is the only thing that allows the twin autocannons on the Dreads. So kind of been, I think, legend there. We don't want to do that. If we want to go with Mortis, I can go run these as Mortis, and then that would make the 5 heavy support. So I have 3 with the Land Raider, and then these 2 could be Mortis heavy support Dreads. I probably will go in that direction since that seems to be more, at least current, and in the Codex as it stands, at least when the Forge World Codex is going to be updated or whatever it is. But like I said, those other Dreadnoughts were kind of as a legend. You could only get the twin autocannons in the Index version. So we're going to call these Mortis Dreads going into 9th edition. So we have our 5 heavy supports. I do have room for 1 more if we want to go there, but got 2 fast attacks, Land Speeder Typhoons with the Typhoon missile launchers, and we threw some multi-melters on there for some extra anti-tank punch now that we can move vehicles and fire without penalty. I think these guys are going to be making a comeback. I used to run these a lot They used to do real good work for me. And hopefully we'll see if they can come back onto the table and do the same work. So I got a Storm Talon Interceptor. It's got the assault cannons, 2 of them, and then the Skyhammer missile launchers, and then the Icarus Storm Cannon. So it's a real good flyer hunter because it gets all that +1 to hit against fly. So that's the first spearhead, and this one points comes out to be 114 power level and 2,072 points. All right, we got another spearhead. This one has got different tanks. You can see that it's again old school. It's gonna be led by a bike captain. I really like this model that I converted up. He's got the Space Wolf looking chest there, going on as a lone wolf hunting, and he will have a relic, the Teeth of Terror. So it's a chainsaw that's beefed up. And I think it's perfect for a guy on a bike. We threw a storm bolter on him. And then with that twin bolters, that's putting out a lot of shots. So he's going to get a tremendous amount of shots just moving out there, shooting on the move. And then he's also going to be tough in close combat. Plus, he can go real nice with that bike squad we got in the Brigade. So we got a bike captain. And then I have the typical smash captain with the jump pack. I have a jump pack chaplain. I was probably going to put the chaplain in there, but we'll see what happens. I like to have a captain and chaplain in charge of each detachment, kind of codex compliant. But right now we have this smash captain with the storm shield and the power fist. They have another thing called the Fist of Terror in the Imperial Fist supplement. So it's kind of like a relic. It doesn't suffer a penalty to hit, but it's just still a power fist in all regards. So he would probably get that. So a couple of different relics. We got some elites, because you're allowed 2 elites, so I threw 2 Venerable Dreads. They're identical, assault cannon and heavy flamer with the close combat weapon. These are my favorite tanks. I've used these for so long. I love the Predator Annihilators. This is the Annihilator variant with all the las cannons. They hit real hard now that they can move and fire without penalty and not get tagged and then basically shut down while they're somebody's touching them. I don't know how good they'll be getting out of combat, but at least they have some mobility now, and you can keep them away from people. If they have to be able to shoot, at least they get something that can shoot at them when they tag them. Got the Whirlwind. You can go with the Vengeance or the Castellan, either one. Probably the Vengeance, even though there's a lot of points went up. And then I got my 2 anti-flyer units. I got a Stalker and a Hunter. Now, what I liked about the kit was that you had both guns. So these do have toughness 8, and you can see that this chassis does look a little bit different than this. But I had an extra Razorback chassis laying around, so I was able to get 2 for 1 with the 1 kit. We got the 6 heavy supports, the 2 elites, 2 HQs, and then again 2 fast attacks. I like the Land Speeder Typhoons. These are my classics. These guys with the heavy bolter and also the Typhoon missile launcher are going to make a comeback in a big way. Now being able to move and fire without penalty, and then again not getting tagged and shut down for a turn. So that's the second spearhead, and that one comes to 81 power level and 1,636 points. And again, the Stormhawk Interceptor with the Skyhammer missile launchers and Storm Cannon, Icarus Storm Cannon. Thanks for watching the video. If you made it this far, the grand total for as it stands right now, what you see is what you get, 8th edition points and point values with the current codex. Going into 9th edition, it's 650 power level and over 12,000 points. So we got 4 detachments plus that allied patrol of Grey Knights. So here's my 3rd battle company. I'm going to try to rock this old school Marines for the 9th edition, get as much play out of them as possible. Again, I've trimmed my collection down. Now I do have a Primaris battalion that I've been building and I'm going to be adding to when the Indominus box drops. So I'll do a separate video for that because it is different style of Marine and still being added to. So I can't wait for 9th edition. I'm really looking forward to playing. Now with the new rules, especially with the vehicles. I've always been a vehicle guy. I love vehicles. So we're going to get these guys back on the table and look forward to fighting for the Emperor and purging the Xenos. Looking forward to getting some more battle reports once we get out of these restrictions. If you've stuck with the channel, thank you to all the subscribers. We'll be starting up battle reports again soon. Thanks again for watching the Bellport Battle Bunker, and stay safe out there.